Boom, boom, boom,
Oh,
boom.
we here.
Hey
Lego.
everybody! Look, our theme music that's in our head that we be dancing
Yes, we going.
to.
We
Right.
just gotta get the rights to whatever it is once we figure out what song it
It's
is.
Mbala. It's some trap Mbala.
Okay, we got the umbrella. Yes, umbrella trap. Ooh,
Yes.
have have your brother make a song. Make us a song.
Yes. I'm gonna have to have him sample some stuff.
Lego.
Hey guys.
All right. This is gonna be a good episode. You don't even know how good it's
Yes.
gonna be, but I'm telling you
I have
because
no
I
idea.
know
Like
I
I
know
just know
these
it's gonna be
things
good because it's repat no cap. But I'm excited
for
to know
sure.
what you have to say.
All right, so y'all, this is how we do every episode. We meet for like 2 minutes before we come on, right? But we don't talk about nothing because we want it to be fresh. We're saving it for y'all, like for the real effect. So there's stuff that she don't know that I'm gonna talk about, and stuff that I don't know she gonna talk about. We just be
Right.
surprising each other like off the cuff. That's
Yes.
how raw it is.
We've had to literally, because the way we even came up with this show is just from us naturally talking the way we do throughout the week. So now that we're doing the show, when we want to share things with each other, we have to be like, I got something I want to tell you, but I'm not going to tell you till the show, because if not, we'll talk about it. We'll like go in for like an hour and then y'all will never get it.
Yes. And that would have been a
So
waste of a of a great juicy topic. Because that's what we was doing. We was talking and it was like, man, this would be good if other people could hear what we're saying. We're
yeah,
like, okay. So now we can't
that
talk.
is so.
Y'all have messed up me and Dayla's relationship because of y'all.
I was just about to say that's funny because we're like sacrificing our normal friendship conversation.
The
Like,
juiciness
oh, I
would
would
be
tell her,
so
but I can't
juicy.
tell her now. That is so funny.
Mm-hmm.
The sacrifices.
So
That
so yeah, let me
is
see.
so
I'm
funny.
looking at the live. It looks like we got somebody's in the house. Hi, somebody.
Hey,
But
y'all.
but
Okay, wait. Let me know
let's
if me chewing this gum annoys you. Look at what I found. This is
what?
like
In the
the
American
old
store?
school, right? No, no,
Yes. Oh,
no.
wait. Is
I
it
found it
is
in a
it
French.
the
Okay, so y'all know that we're like in a different world. So y'all might go
yes
to like Quick Trip or any gas station and see this, but for us to run into like
AMP?
stuff that we get from the States is like exciting. So I'm
Yes.
excited about this gum. I've been so excited that I bought this gum for the kids, and I have not. I have been hiding it from them. I've been over
Mm.
here eating it and just.
Ooh. That's how I do when people bring me sweet tarts. You remember them hard candies? Like
Oh
they have the box
yeah,
at the movie theater. Yeah, people
yeah.
have brought me those, and I hide it from her. I'm so bad.
That is so
Like
funny.
I gotta save it. H Bledsoe, first one in the house. What's
Hey,
up, baby?
what's up, sis?
She
How
ride
are
with us.
you?
She ride with us every week.
Yes, loyal. We love
We
it.
gotta we gotta come up with a name for the loyals. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's
We
gonna
just
be
call
good
them
once we can
loyals.
get the badges and stuff. That's gonna be exciting to see everybody because
Yes.
we've been so.
Oh
One thing
yeah.
that we do every week, we're like always so excited about y'all's feedback, like y'all's comments, y'all's messages. Me and Aisha are sending them back and forth to each other. We're like,
Yes.
oh,
Yes.
we're just
You see
like,
this? They like it.
yeah.
Yeah, they like us.
Yes, we're so giddy about it, right? Because it's just genuine. Like we're just doing this, and then y'all just here
Yes.
supporting us. It's real love. We
That one
appreciate it.
comment from last week where they was like, let me just tell y'all or something. They was like, this is like the show, like whatever. I'm like, what?
Yeah, she was
I
like,
was like,
let's just put it out there. I'm like,
yes, yes.
yes.
I was like, that's lovely. And then the other one you shared with me, or I think you shared one with me after, and it was like
Uh-huh.
really good, really nice. Like,
Yes.
oh, so they
We
be ready for
appreciate
it.
it.
So thank you very much. Muchas
Yes.
gracias.
Thank you
So
guys.
we're gonna get into it. I'm looking for my little
Okay.
notes and
Yes.
stuff.
So how was your
You
week, your
told me,
repat week?
oh man, the week has been full of like up, down. I think I'll talk about the good stuff first. Um,
Okay.
so I got a stove.
I seen that. I
Like
just seen that. I was like, oh yeah.
with an
Okay, wait
oven.
till you see my cooking video. I still got a cooking video of me cooking in your kitchen. So now I got to come back
Okay.
and do one with the
In the
stove.
real, in the real, like
Right.
we got an oven, and so like I think Simone we had one, but I don't think the oven worked or I didn't know how to use it. It was in French, but now I can really cook. I realized being here, half the stuff that I know how to cook be in the oven. And so when you just got stovetop burner and you only have one, like sometimes like now we had two, because sometimes I want to warm something. I don't have microwave. So I don't do that. So sometimes I want to warm something, eat it or make something, and somebody else is cooking something. So it's like you gotta wait one at a time, take your turn. Like it just be like I'm used to, let's go. And so
Yes.
we make a lot of stuff separate and make it simultaneously. So I need three
Hmm.
burners at least. So I could be like, okay, here's your breakfast, baby girl, and here's your oatmeal, and here's the lunch for later, and I could just do it
Right.
like that. And so,
Right.
so we got a stove finally, like an oven stove, because we had one that was shipped, but it got damaged. So, and
Oh, dang.
we didn't get it until now. It's like a year later. It was sitting in Gambia for the longest time. So
What? The
finally,
same one that
yeah,
y'all have now was sitting in Gambia?
no, the one we
Oh,
got
that's ruined.
from Gambia was like dented up and stuff. Like it was
Oh,
new and then
okay.
it got all messed up. So, live and learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just bought one today and it's really nice. It's like almost like a professional one. Like, it got a rotisserie thing inside. I'm like, okay, we're gonna
What?
be doing some game hens. What's up? Who
Okay.
that? Vibrant Organic. What's good?
Yes.
Good. And then who else? Cherie.
Cherie. Uh-huh. What's up?
When I
We
tell you that
got,
one really resonated with me, oh, I gotta check what we talking about on that one. But that was a good
I
one. Was
know.
that the one
Let
where I
me
came
pull it
back from
up.
the trip? I think that was the one I came back from the trip. I think.
Yep, I think so.
Yeah. I think that one was pretty deep. But yeah, so I got
Yeah.
a stove. What else happened this week? Some other good stuff. Well, my kid was off from school. I found out first I found out that Monday was Independence Day. I kind of forgot. And then
Oh, really?
the rest, yeah, the 4th of April. And then and then
I
then the
have no
rest of the week
idea.
she was off. I
Oh,
didn't
wait.
know.
Here. My bad, my bad.
Yeah.
Here. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about America. I'm like, really? Yeah, yeah,
No,
here.
no, 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 no. No, no, no. So here. So oh she said yes, ma'am. So I guess that was the episode 4. So yeah, so she's been awesome. I've been with her all day, which every day, which is like a lot. But it's been good because I don't have to wake up early and take her to school. So I've been staying up late like
Right.
like till
Right.
midnight. Like I'm
Uh-uh.
hot.
I'm a
Yeah.
changed woman.
Whatever. But so I've been with her, so we've been kind of hanging out. Like we went to the beach, we went hung out with the ladies that's here in the living room
Mhm.
who are with us. So we be kicking
Oh,
it with
dope.
them. They offered to babysit again. I was like, yes, I could get used to it.
Yes. Yes.
So it's awesome. It's nice to have a family. They love her, and kids they
Mhm.
bring joy to your life when they don't get on your
Yes.
nerves.
Right.
So that's good. But
That's dope.
the other thing that happened this week that I didn't tell you because I wanted to talk about it, and we can talk about it like more later. But um, somebody I know, their son got murdered, and
Mm.
it was just like,
Oh my God.
yeah, and he's 24. He was 24, and they were actually neighbors of mine. They lived like 2 blocks up, but like he been a part of the family since like through my dad. So like he worked with my dad for years and years, like doing
Mm.
construction. He like worked in my house, my sister's house, my mom's house, my homegirl's house. Like he worked on my house multiple times, and so he's basically family. Like we go to the
Yeah.
block party, his block party on his block. He come. So like I remember when like before the pandemic, the guy lost his wife and she had breast cancer and she just died like really quick, like young, like maybe in her 40s or maybe like
Mm.
early 50s or something like that. And And so I'm pretty sure he's in his 50s or something now. But so yeah, I found out he's been working on my mom's house remodeling,
Mm.
and she called me and told me that his son
Yeah.
was killed in Long Beach, which I used to live in Long Beach. So like he's from Inglewood, but I'm from Inglewood, but he was in Long Beach at the time. And like I saw the article they wrote about it, and it was just like, oh, the police suspect it could be gang related, and just like all this stuff to make you not care about it, like
Mm-hmm.
we don't know. And it's like, and he's a junior, and
Oh
so
my
it's just
God,
like,
he's so young.
and he just got shot up, like, uh, anyway,
That's, oh
it's
my
just
God.
so I was talking to people about it, and it's just, how people there cope with stuff, and they just kind of like,
Oh yeah.
either it's like God, or like they're like, oh, I can't believe that happened. Like if it happens to someone then you believe it. Like if it happens to other people, but like if it happens to other people, you kind of just, but and then when it happens to someone, you act like this doesn't happen every day. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I was talking to the homie, and they was like, wow, I can't believe that. But it's like, can't you though? Like he's black, he's 24, like there's guns everywhere.
Gun
It's just
down.
like,
Right.
yeah, so that like was really melancholy, and not like I knew the kid or whatever, but it was just because I know the guy, and I know he lost his wife and he was dealing with that, and I know the son was probably dealing with that, and it's like you can't just have regular drama like you lose your mom when you're 20 something and
Right.
you're going
Right.
through stuff. You can't just be, and I think he had beef with his dad and left the house for like a couple of days, and that was beating the dad up. Like he was sad because of that. And my mom had asked him, like, you seem kind of down. What's going on? He's like, oh, my son. So he didn't know where he was. When it happened, he didn't even get to be there in the hospital. We don't know what really happened. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh my
we don't know
God.
if they took his organs. We don't know nothing. Like, nobody was. And like, just think about your kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, your kid will always be your kid. And I just, I mean, nowhere is perfect. But in my mind, I'm just like, I I couldn't have a son over there. I couldn't I don't know. But it's just a lot of stuff that goes on, and you know, when I look to find out information online, all this other stuff come up. Oh, some other people got killed in Long Beach, or just the other week, or like you look up the same city or the same area, and you see a woman got killed, like a woman, boom, got shot up. Like
Yes.
everybody just, and of course, when I heard that he passed and that he was murdered, I know obviously like everybody's like, oh, what was it? What happened? What happened? I'm like, it don't matter. I'm like, I'm sure it was a gun. Like I'm almost positive it was a gun. That could
Yeah, it's like
kill
a
just about everybody.
98% chance.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, why am I automatically thinking that? And it's because of where I come from, and living here and talking to people from here and what they think about over there, and I'm just like, if y'all really knew, you know. And it's just like we just deal with it. We're just like, yeah, just like I
Yeah.
know too many people that this happened to, and we try to rationalize it like, oh, well, he was hanging out at 12 o'clock at night, so nobody can hang out at 12 o'clock at night. Nobody can go to a concert. Nobody can go to a
Right.
club. Nobody can like,
Right.
until they're 50, then they're safe. Or like,
There's no age limit.
so
But yeah, I see what you're
yeah,
saying.
really. It's like, oh, you was hanging out at the hip hop, so you can't listen to hip hop, so you can't,
Right.
or you was, we try to figure it out, like we can control it, and that's what I was kind of saying to my mom. It's like we try to figure out stuff like why it happened, and you know, and this and that. And like it don't matter. It don't matter. There's no explanation other than it's just violent, and it's just yeah,
Yeah.
it's just there's no demographic, but it's like seems like we get it the most, but. Yeah,
I
so I
mean,
was bummed out.
how look at my faces. I like it. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
because my thing is just like, oh my God, this subject is always like I
I
have to
know that's
contain
yeah,
myself because
yeah.
I am so removed from the like illusion that we're in America where we
Hmm.
have normalized it, where they have desensitized us and made it so
Mm-hmm.
normal. Our people have been being gunned down for so many years, and before that we were hung. And it's the same thing, it's just a trigger now. It's
Mm.
easier, it's quicker, but it's just so crazy how non-existent it is everywhere else in the world. Like, that part is so amazing to me. And when I speak to my American friends, I was talking to a brother a few days ago, and he hasn't been outside of America, and he was venting about what he has been going through, like just the struggle of taking care of his son and this money, and just like him having, a record, and how he had a record when he was really young. It's been following him his whole life into his mid 30s. And I mean, I don't want to be that person that's like, here goes the solution, like, because like we've talked about
Right.
this before, like, it's not for everybody.
Mhm.
We already get the whole thing, Africa's not for everybody, leaving the country is not for everybody. But then it's like, I couldn't help but like keep bringing the conversation back to the only obvious like thing. I'm just like, look, African men don't have this, what you're talking about. They don't even know about that unless they have friends, or unless they just watch enough TV. It literally does not exist. Like, what a black man and a black woman in America has to go through versus, I mean, just when we're talking about the safety, just on the safety, on the constant, being on the lookout and that kind of thing, it's very different. It
Mm-hmm.
really is like living in a war zone. And like, in
Mm.
most of the country, you can say that you might be safer in a rich or wealthy neighborhood. In Atlanta, that doesn't
Mm-hmm.
even matter. You go to the mall in Buckhead, the most wealthiest, one of the wealthiest malls in the whole country, and they got metal detectors because you might get shot. They have had like 4 shootouts at the mall. So it's just
The
like,
freaking
I just need,
school.
huh?
The freaking school's getting like all the mass shootings and stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
With
that's
little
something that we
babies.
just, huh?
The one with the little babies at the school that got shut up. Remember that one?
Oh,
They were 6 years
yeah.
old.
Oh my God. And you know what? You just reminded me. I was on the phone with another one of my friends the other day, and he was just like, he was with his niece and nephew, and he was showing me them, and he was like, my you see my niece's leg? I was like, no. He was like, she got shot. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm kind of tripping out right now. They just told me that somebody shot her. I'm like, yo, like, and like, when you're on the phone with somebody that's in America, and that maybe some people is for leaving or not, but if they're not just like gun ho the way we are, you don't really want to offend anyone or make them feel like you're
Mm-mm.
talking like this because
You
you're over,
should have.
but I'm just
Yeah.
like, yo, like, what you just told me is crazy right now. Like, that's not normal. It's not normal at all. They just made it normal for us. It's really, really crazy to live there. That's all I gotta
That's
say.
exactly. That's exact. No, that's exactly right. Like it's not. It's just like I can count. How many times since I've been here that I've been telling my Senegalese friends or my husband's Senegalese friends, like this person got killed, like whatever, this person got killed, and it's like I don't know, man. It's just one of those things that I think people block it out of their mind to be able to
Mm-hmm.
survive mentally. And I'm just like, that's retarded to me. I'm sorry. Like I think when you feel like you don't have a choice, well, everybody has a
Yeah.
choice. Even during slavery, there was a choice, but it was probably not an easy choice. Like you gotta either get your foot cut off or get eaten by dogs. Like so you survive in the best way you can. I feel that, but it's like we got passports. Like we not you know, and and people, think, oh, my job and my money and college for the kids or whatever it is that's holding you to that. And it's like, great. And you speak the language and you don't have to start over from zero and stuff. But it's like people flee war-torn countries all the time.
With nothing.
Mm-hmm.
With
Mm-hmm.
literally nothing. With not knowing the language and with
Yeah.
nothing. For me, the way I came over here, I'll be like, if y'all want someone to listen to your excuses, you're talking to the wrong person, because I cannot listen to those excuses. And then, you know, Unique, she calls, you know how some people say like the plandemic or the pandemic or whatever, she calls it the bandemic, because this is the most time, especially for us, that we've gotten access to free money in the past 2 years. I'm like, if you're not coming up on like these grants we were talking about, any of the loans, any of the stimuluses, any of these things that's coming through, the unemployment that people were getting, like we have to, this is only for people that actually want to leave. You do have a way, like there is a way. You don't have to be there. You don't have to live in such a place that has so much like fear and so much, you know, anxiety and just all that pain. I want to
and it's like,
oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna
yeah,
say,
yeah. So like I was gonna answer that. So
yeah.
so yeah, if you have the right permits and stuff, um, it is allowed. It's just not a common thing. People don't feel like afraid to the point that they gotta shoot somebody. You know,
Yeah, and then
like
everybody, not even in every neighbor, like every other apartment, do people have guns? Like they have gun ranges here. You can easily get your gun license, even if you're an American citizen. I've been to the gun place here, but it's just like, even when I
oh,
was
they have
talking to
one up
one of
there.
my neighbors, say it again.
They have one there.
Yeah, they have it
Okay.
here, and it was like, you know, one of them real like, yeah, like you know, the background check is like, yeah, do the background check, but you know how it is in Africa, so so it's really smooth like that. And I have a neighbor, it's a white lady, and she invited me up for tea one day, and we were talking. And this is one of the many ways that I realized, me coming from such a traumatizing place. I was telling her about just like my experience with like, and I'm very aware. I've been aware over 10 years now about how abnormal America is. So it's not like I was confused or anything, but just speaking to more people outside, you know, that haven't been there, it just really will awaken you more. And I was telling her stuff about some of the stuff that goes on, and she had to stop me, and she said, I'm sorry. She said listening to you talk is like watching a movie. She's like, the things that you're telling me that you guys do or go through with guns, she's like, it's so abnormal. Like, she was like, just to know that your neighbor has a gun is not natural. And I was like,
Where's she
wow.
from?
Like, she's from France, but she's been living here in Senegal. And she was just like, even she's like, here in Senegal, France, she stayed in Johannesburg. So she talked about how Johannesburg reminded her a little bit of America, just the aggression, you know, aggressiveness or whatever. And they do have guns. They be out there doing their little thing. Africa's a continent, guys. I gotta say that.
Yes.
Because
Yes. Different
Africa's
countries have different cultures and different, you know, laws and all that stuff.
right.
I think to piggyback back on what we're talking about, I I was on Facebook and somebody had made a comment in one group. I don't know if it's a travel group or a Black Sea group or whatever it is, but they was talking about Senegal. And so you know how you and I like we be sensitive about our stuff.
Right,
You
our
know what I'm
country.
saying? But it's like, yeah, but it's like, you know, I read what the person said. They said something about, which I've heard before, about, you know, wanting to move, and they were listing positive things about Senegal, but the reasons why they couldn't move here. And they were talking about when they came to Dakar. And the way they were talking, it was just like, I don't know, because it was talking about Dakar, and I'm like, Dakar is different. It's like I commented, I'm like, you know, that's like saying, you know, New York, like, oh, the United States is all New York. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. Like, you have
Right.
Wichita, Kansas. Like, you have, you know, Montana. Like, you have Utah. Like, you can't judge the whole place by that. And,
Yeah.
you know, but the experience that they had was an experience. I think a taxi driver grabbed her or something like that. She was afraid. So in the comment that I responded, I mentioned, you know, there's like something like that hasn't happened to me, but at the same time, you know, there have been things that have happened that have because of my past trauma or because of the country that I come from, you know, I was afraid of something that wasn't as bad as what I thought,
Mm-hmm.
you know. because it's like
That's
somebody
happened.
can grab you. I'm not saying I wasn't there. I didn't experience it. I don't know the person, and I don't know their history, whatever. But I know that things can happen, and I said I judge things differently when I'm in a different environment. And it's like in 1 month, in one city, you can't learn that much, like by yourself. And it's like the person was saying that because I'm married, like I have protection, and I immediately thought about you, and I was like you don't have to have a dude. Like even my husband need protection, like from stuff being here. Like it's not
Right.
like when you don't know a place, you don't know what to look out for, and you might have your guard down in situations where you shouldn't, and you might have your
Right.
guard up in situations where you don't need to. You feel me?
Right.
And so it's like, so I think I had mentioned something in my comment, like people still want to go to France, even though they had the bombing there. That time they had the bombing there, and people still want to go to Mexico when Cancun, the tourists be dying, and Dominican Republic, the tourists be getting killed or dying mysteriously and stuff. And it's like people
Right.
still doing that kind of stuff. And it's like, you know, I just don't think to judge a place, because what happened was the person that put the post, people was commenting like, "Oh, Senegal's off my list. Senegal's off my list," and it's like, no place is no. Yes, thank you, thank you. And so the person commented and was like, "Oh, you're projecting and this and this," and I mean, no, it's all love. And I was like, you know what, I am projecting. I have feelings. I'm projecting them.
Right.
Now, okay,
When
why
somebody
you didn't
talking,
tag me? I
I
needed
think
to
they
be in this
responded to me
conversation.
again. I think they responded to me again. I just didn't even go to it because I'm just like, I'm
Yeah,
such in a peaceful place. Like I don't even have to go. Sometimes it could
right.
be an American person, especially black American. Sometimes we could be real hostile, and like I'm not in that place. Like I'm not about to be writing all
Right. I'm not
nice.
gonna
Like,
argue you about a peaceful place.
sis, what I'm saying. Because she was like, "Oh, you're that." Oh, she knew who I was. She was like, "Oh, I think you're the one who lives there with your husband. You have a YouTube channel. Says you and I are different." And I'm like, just because I'm married don't mean it's different. Like people be thinking, and that, yeah, people be thinking like people be judging. It's like you think because somebody's married, this is their life. Like we seen Will and Jada. Like, come on, like you don't even know what's
Right.
going on. You don't know
Right.
what's going on. But it's like, but I
Right.
was like, nah. Like there's stuff like my husband don't go to Dakar by himself. Like if you don't know the streets, if you don't know where you are, if you don't know your
Mm-hmm.
way around, how to navigate, Dakar is a different culture. It has different people from all over the world there. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful place, but you can't just think you can navigate it by yourself. And it's not because you're a woman. A lot of people think that, oh, if you're a woman, you need a man with you because Africa is like, and it's not that. And I always think of you, and I'm just like, she was by herself with her children,
Right.
and she figured like you can do it, but
Exactly. Yeah, it's not
but
like
yeah.
that. Like, if anything, you need a whole army with you. To me, in America, that's when I felt really unsafe, really vulnerable, and
Mm-hmm.
really scared. But
Mm-hmm.
it's not like that. Like, really, even when you're married, something can happen with or without your husband. The protection is about what you think about your journey. Like, do you think that you're going to come to Africa to, be kidnapped and to, if that's in your mind, you shouldn't even come. Like, you shouldn't even, that shouldn't even, you're not ready to come here yet. But it's like, it's
And
not
it's
like
like
that.
people be judging. It's like, okay, so a taxi man grabbed you up. They probably wanted their money. They probably weren't going to do anything to you like somebody in the States would. And they probably not even Senegalese, but somebody will go back and be like, this Senegalese man, la 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 la,
Yeah.
and you don't even know, like, if you don't speak the language, you don't speak the culture, you don't know exactly what the person is doing. Like some places people kiss on the cheek, men can kiss on the cheek. Some places people grab whole hands. Some places
Yes.
that's offensive. Like you don't know how to interpret stuff unless you got somebody with you who could break that down for you. Granted,
Yeah.
a lot of times, I told them, I said, men help you in certain situations. Women help you in certain situations. If I need to go to the market and I need to know the price, I'm not going to ask my husband. I'm going to ask a woman.
Right.
That's protection from
Right.
getting ripped off. But in other situations,
Right.
I may need a dude to go with me because I'm going into a dude arena, and I need them to speak the way they speak in their little gender cultural situation.
Right.
But
And
it's
you
like
don't have to be
it's not
married
like
for that. I got like 4 dudes I can call up right now if something go
the
down.
village is your protection, and that's what I said. I'm
Yes.
like, it's like people be wanting this village. It takes a village. We always say the little saying, it takes a village, but then you don't like the way the village look. It don't look how you want it. You want your village to be all women. That's not
Right.
a completely balanced village. You want your
Right.
village to be what you want it to be or what you expect it to be, but that's not how it works. Your
Right.
neighbors are your village. You're like, it's not just about, you know, oh, why I gotta need a man to help me do this and this. What's wrong with men? Like, why are you against men? Do you hate men? Do you have some kind of issue going on? But it's like the village is what it is, and you gotta know your neighbors. You gotta know, like, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
But I think somebody spending a month in Dakar is wonderful to see if place fits you or not. I don't think it fits that person. And it doesn't mean that where you live, everything's gonna be perfect either. And that's the thing I was saying. Like stuff happening in Cancun all the time, Mexico, people, cartels and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Colombia, people be going to Colombia. It's a whole bunch of Black Americans in Colombia. But like nobody's like I feel like they hold African countries to a different standard. Like this is
Yes.
where my people. So, but
Yes.
no, we're not the same people. We've been separated way too long for you to think
Yeah.
that they're gonna recognize you when you come back. Like,
Right.
you know.
Mm.
So,
And I think
anyway,
this is an
so that
ongoing
yeah,
conversation. What you just
yeah.
said, I think that's an ongoing
Mm-hmm.
conversation because we do have this. It's kind of weird the way Americans do, and maybe other, repats from other places do the same thing. I can only speak on, us coming from America, but
Right.
we have like this pedestal that we put Africa on. But then when we get
There.
here, then we will like lower, like we'll like look down on certain things, like it's not paved roads in this area, or it's not. It's like make up your
Or the
mind because
flies.
even right. Oh my God, all the flies, all of that. Because even in the case that you're talking about with her saying, like, okay, well, you're married, that's different. Where's the country at? Like, where's the country at, like, that says like this is the place you go when you're single, and then you'll go, like, if like where are you gonna go then? Because it's just,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, Senegal is like one of the best countries on the continent to move to first. Like if people, when people don't know where to go and they ask me, and I always tell them, you can start with Senegal, because Senegal is Taranga. Like, you're going to actually get
Mm-hmm.
help, and it doesn't matter if it's from a man or a woman, and it is going to be mostly men most of the time, because that's
Mm-hmm.
just what
Mm-hmm.
it just seems to be that dynamic where the men are out and have more access to stuff, and the women are doing their thing. But it's like
Women
you just
women
have
be
to
inside. Women work inside where it's air conditioning, or inside
right.
where they got the fan, like in the shade on the doing
Yes.
their thing. Like they don't want to be heavy lifting in this heat. It was
Hmm.
105 degrees like for the past 3 days.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's just, we in preseason, pregame right now too.
yeah.
But yeah.
It's been
Okay, so this
it's been
question real
hot.
quick. Someone says, Raw Doll says, is it stoner friendly place? Is it friendly?
I'm gonna let you answer that.
I can answer that. Okay, so this repat no cap. Okay, y'all.
That's why we such a balanced show. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's so technically, if we're being technical, then it's not supposed to be legal here, right? Like, marijuana is not something you can just, not in most of Senegal. In the Gambia, there's some parts where you can smoke in public, and also in Casamance. But other than that, it's supposed to be illegal. But with that being said, everybody smoke. Not everybody, but a lot
Nobody's
of
gonna
people.
come. Nobody's gonna come to your house and enforce it. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I
that's not
mean?
happening. And if you get caught with tree, if it's not American tree, then it's just like you guys have seen us talk about before. Everything just ends up being about give them 5,000, give them however much. It's just like with
Yeah,
everything, because it's not a
help the
big
police
deal.
out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. So that's that on that.
That's why it's just such a relaxed place. No stress. It like even when you're doing other stuff, like it's no stress anyway. Like
Right. Yeah, you could just
just
mind your
no.
own business and just do your thing. No one's gonna be all up
Hmm.
in your stuff.
I didn't
People should
understand
check.
exactly what AB meant by this.
Oh, okay. People
I
should check
read it. I
people when
read
they
it
not
earlier, but I didn't
like in
understand.
the USA. Everyone is like I don't care. People should check people when they not like in USA. Everyone is like I don't care. So do you mean like check the people that um are from the USA that are here? I don't know.
Or
You're
do
gonna have
you
to
mean
elaborate
like
for
you
us.
should
Let
check
us know.
people? Like, yeah, you're gonna have to break it down, AB. Do you mean like
Hmm.
I'm gonna check you, check? Like I'm gonna check you right quick. You need to be checked, like that kind of check.
It sounds like that kind
And
of check,
then
but I don't know checking who
people
for
should
what.
check people when they not like in the USA. What they're
Maybe
not.
when they're not in the
Yeah, I don't
US.
know. I don't know.
Please
Yeah, I don't know.
elaborate for us so we can answer your question.
Yeah, por favor. If you do wrong, people should check people when they do wrong. Oh, in the U.S. they don't care. Yeah, because you know in the U.S. You can be in more danger by trying to check somebody. Like people be fighting here, but somebody will break it up. Like kids be fighting, people be fighting in traffic, like road rage
People
type
do be
stuff
fighting, yes. In the
in
car,
their
they be
car. When
banging out here.
even here, like at the big intersection over here by the ocean, like you gotta like scoot in. People be fighting. They be like, "You blocking the whole two ways, bro." Like, and I'm gonna be like, "I'm not moving because if I don't move, I'm gonna lose my spot. Y'all just gonna
They
have
be
to
like,
let me go, let me go." And they be putting their hand, and so like that's one of those things that we interpret differently because for us, specifically black us, like we be like, get your hand on my face.
I'm gonna
You threaten,
bite
like
that finger off.
but it's different. Like everybody, because I had to have a conversation here because I was like, I don't like that. Like
Yes.
that
Girl,
don't
when I
mean the
tell
same
you,
thing it means to y'all.
when we first moved in this apartment, Ra is like Ra and my landlord. We gotta do a whole nother episode, me talking about me just learning how Americanized I was. Cause I had my
Mm-hmm.
homeboy getting into it with our landlord. We had beef
You make it
for like
for a
2 months.
raw fight.
I know,
Don't make
right?
raw fight.
Right. You know, Ryan's so quiet too. And when they would be arguing, because the landlord was trying me, but there was some things that I didn't know either. But when they would be
Mm-hmm.
arguing, it was so funny because the landlord would put his finger in Ra's face like this, and I would be like, Ra, don't you let him tell him to get his finger out your face. Tell him right now, like I'm like, don't you let that man, you a grown ass man, don't you let that man put, and he'd be like, bruh,
It don't
like,
matter. And if he was like 3 years older than Rod, then he's his elder and he can do whatever he wants. It don't matter.
right,
He could have his birthday 6 months before. They could tell you what to do, and you just gotta be
yes.
like, uh-huh.
Yes, and it was so funny because the guy even like he got so mad and he turned to me and he went like this and I just looked at him and he was like he went back over to Rob like okay let me talk to the Senegalese like I talked to the Senegalese. I'm like yes because that's not gonna be good for me. But yeah,
Oh man.
you just gotta
So
learn.
yeah, I just think that for me, I took what they said personal because I've been coming here since 2009.
Mhm.
I visiting, I learned little bits and pieces, and I would come for 3 weeks, a month. I still knew nothing,
Right,
and I'm
the
living
visit is
here
different
now.
from living.
Yes, and I'm living here now, and I'm learning so much, and it's like for somebody to think that they're gonna know enough. I mean, you can know if you like a place or don't like a place. Don't get me wrong, but to be able to judge and interpret things like behavior and stuff from your American perspective is like, okay, you
It's
can
so
just go
different.
move to like a country where, you know, colonized own it or something because it just don't like your mindset is way off in my opinion. But but when they responded to me with that, like, oh, you projecting, like, you that lady from the thing, from the channel, so you
Yes,
different, like, it's different for us. And I'm just like, okay, like, I came here twice unmarried. So, like, obviously, you know what I'm saying? But whatever,
You got the
whatever.
experience.
Well, put me in another category. It's all good. I'm still a woman, but it's all right. But I saw a post that you made earlier this week, and it really touched me. I don't know if you guys saw Dayla's post. She posted a lot of stuff, but there was a long post that you had. It was on YouTube and other stuff and Facebook, I think. But and you were talking about being a single mother and being judged and that really touched me.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I as a person who's not single, sometimes things happen and you start thinking about what if I was, or what if something happened, or what would I do, or like I'm tired of this, like maybe I'm going, and I'm like, wait a minute, don't want to do this by myself. Like, we're gonna have to figure out some things. And I'm just like, I would be terrified to even embark on something like willingly. You know what I mean? Like, and I think about people are in positions where it's probably better if they move on or separate. But you were saying, people assume things, and I think that people really give women a hard time, and society. You know what I mean? Because if it were a man, and he had kids and maybe different moms, and he was raising all the kids, people would still blame the woman. Like, ooh, where the moms at? They trifling. They ain't even, and he's doing it. He's stepping up. Hey, Anaya.
Hey.
And so like I read the whole thing that you wrote, and I was like, wow, man. And when you were saying how people can think you're a happy person and everything is good, but they don't know what goes on behind the scenes. And sometimes your strong friend or your bubbly friend, you don't check on them because you feel like they good, like they want to. People want to suck your energy. You know what I mean? They want your good vibes, but they don't know that you sometimes need some poured into
like,
you.
Duh, guys. Like,
and I thought about it. And I was like, dang, I don't think I would have any idea, because you always seem like you just have it together, like super woman, super mom, super everything. And it's like, when I come over and your kids is washing dishes and cooking and sweeping, and even like Titus and stuff, and I'm like, how does she do that? Like, I can't even tell one little person what to do and get them to do what I want. Like,
yeah.
But I thought that was beautiful. Oh, Karen said she read the post. She loved it. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Like being so vulnerable, and and it's true. People assume like, oh, you made the wrong choice in a spouse. You said something about like it's her fault for choosing the spouse that she chose, or choosing the bad father of her kids. And it's like, you know what? Like, it's like people expect women to be smarter than the person that they with. You got to be smarter than him to know if you picked the wrong one.
You're supposed
But
to, apparently.
but if he picked the wrong one, it's her fault for being the wrong one. You know what I'm saying? So it's
it really is. It really is like that. I was so surprised. If you notice, even when you said just a minute ago, like if you would even have the strength or the bravery to even to do that willingly. And that's why in one of those sentences I said, like for a woman to have the bravery to do that, because it's a brave thing to say, I'm going to split up my family, I'm going to stop my marriage. Like, I don't know how we look at it, like it's a mistake, or like it's because I was married for 10 years, and I left my ex-husband about 6 years ago, and that was my first experience being a single mom. And the first thing I realized was that it was like my fault. Like, people were literally, I had one of our mutual friends, I will never forget this day, because it was my first experience, and it was just a triple effect after that. And he was like, what did you do? What did you do to ruin y'all's family? And I said, oh my God, like I used to counsel him. I counseled him. I used to do paid counseling. I really was helping people's marriages and stuff. And I said, how could you assume that it was me? Like, I left him. Why don't you asking what he did? I got your marriage together. Like, why are you even just why how dare you? He was like, I'm just saying, what man would just let a beautiful family like that go? And so that's people's mindset. It's like, it must be the woman, because why would a man have a whole family and get married? You know, when a man gets married, it means he is a great man if he gets married.
Right.
So,
like automatically.
just it's all you gotta do is just commit, and then he must be a great man. So it's like because he got married,
don't commit.
Isn't that crazy? Like the bar that we set is so low, we don't even realize it. So now, you know, when I meet a single mom and she tells me, like, you know, I'm recently divorced, I do this thing, and it's amazing, the reaction. And maybe this is a good conversation, because all of us, whether we're married or not, we should start doing this. When we meet women and they are divorced, we should say, congratulations. Like, congratulations on being so brave. It takes so much fucking strength. If you were married for mostly any amount of time, but if you had children, if you were married for years, you were fighting for your marriage. You actually wanted it. Like, that's why I went in and said, like, no one one's like, oh, I'm going to have 3 of his children and get married, and then I'm just going to be like, I'm just going to do it on my own. So it's not something that we're actually choosing. We actually end up having to make this decision for our peace, for our sanity. Some of us are in abusive relationships. Sometimes it's just toxic. It's so many different reasons. I was so shocked all these years to find, like, people's responses to a single mom. I'm just like, wow, is this what we out here doing? Like, it's no wonder why moms are committing suicide and killing their children and losing their mind, doing crazy things. It's so much pressure. It's really crazy. It's insane.
It is a lot of pressure because we put it on ourselves. Society puts it on us. It's reinforced by women and men, because we all were raised about the same, you know, with the same, you know, in the same society. And so when I was reading your post, I even recognized things about myself, because it's like, you know, and I told you this before, when we first started talking before we both moved here, you told me some of your story. I didn't know the whole story, you know, but it's like our mind goes to the narrative that's like always pounded in us, and it's like, oh, somebody that has a lot of kids. First of all, people assume that if you have a lot of kids, it means you didn't plan to have a lot of kids. You know, it must have been like a faux pas or accident, or you didn't plan, you know, because like, who wants to have
a whole bunch of kids knocked up left and right.
Yeah, you're just being like carefree and, you know, whatever. And it's like, no, some people actually want that many kids, and, you know, whatever. And but it's like you automatically kind of judge and think, and I think that it's okay to judge people and have thoughts, which is totally normal. But like, when you start treating people a certain way or acting on it or assuming that your judgment is correct without finding it, like, you know, you just have to be more people have to be more conscious of the fact that these are the automatic things that get put in our brain, because we watch the same movies, the same rap videos. It's always, you know, baby boy. Like, everything is kind of like, oh, you just assume. You know, like you said, husbands die.
Yeah.
Or they
I'm like,
go to the military.
What if you become, there's widows that are not new. Widows have been out since forever. Like, I'm like, why is this? Y'all don't know what the story is. Like, that's amazing.
But people assume, and I think part of that is because we don't value women, and we don't, as a society, everybody, not just men, don't value us, but we don't value ourselves. We don't value Black women. We don't value Black people. So a Black woman, you know, I think usually it like our culture, we always victim blame, you know what I'm saying? And you know, we blame the victim for not leaving when she's getting beat up. We blame the victim for settling with someone who's not good enough. But then we blame them for being single and not being able to find someone. You haven't found a man yet, or you haven't.
That is crazy. I'm not just gonna choose anybody. Like, the fuck. Yeah.
And you know, it's very, very, very unfortunate. Like
it's tough,
Anaya
especially
said, it's not for the weak.
You know, if it's a mom who has the children that she's raising and the dad is not even emotionally, or not even, not even just being physically there, but being there emotionally, like just to speak to the kids if that's someone's case. And that's why I mentioned, like, stop telling single moms that they should have chose better. Stop saying that we're bitter. Like, when, first of all, who, like, nobody plays about their kids. Like, everybody is like gun-ho about their kids, and not just about like physical protection. Whenever a mommy
Mm-hmm.
sees her child being hurt because the child has an absent parent, and the parent is not calling or reaching out to the child, how do people
It's the
think
worst.
that someone's not going to be upset about that? Like, I just be sitting up looking at people like I can't believe
Mm-mm.
this is a thing. And it's
And
just
just
like,
like,
yeah, I've had a lot. Huh?
no, I was saying, just think about it. Like, you know, I was married when I had my kid, and I was
Mm-hmm.
still like kind of salty for the fact that I had to go through, my body had to go through something, and my partner's body didn't change, and they was
Right.
doing whatever they was doing, going out, going to the gym, like doing, they could do whatever, and so like they had this freedom that I didn't have, and I was upset about that, and I'm like, just think if if we wasn't together, how upset and emotional and for like, I gotta go through this, and you could just, what I mean, choose when and what, you know what I'm saying? And it's
Yeah.
like, it's difficult. And
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
me having like, every person is different. Every parent is different. Just because you're a mom doesn't mean you're capable of all the mommy things or all the typical whatever. Like, we have lives, we have our own dreams, we have our own
We have our
flaws,
own
our own
traumas we have
goals.
to heal from. We have
You know
like,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
To be there for a child emotionally is 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 a is a job that takes all day. Like, you have to teach them stuff. You have to, like, I just seen my kids' teeth, like, she have two cavities. I feel like the worst parent in the world. And I only got
Right.
one kid to look after, and I cannot keep track of everything she's doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm like, I don't have nothing in my fridge. We don't have candy. We don't do soda. But like, she's having candy at school, and I did not even
Yeah.
notice her teeth. And I wasn't making her, like, I get so drained. I don't even be like, okay, brush your teeth before we go to bed. Like, I just be like, please just go to
Right.
bed. That's all I want.
Right.
Like, I will take,
Right.
you don't have to shower. Like, sometimes you just don't have the energy. And it's like, for people to pass judgment is it's horrible. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like, but it's something that is ingrained in us,
Yeah, it is.
and it's really sad because I feel like sometimes women be the worst at it, like, because we be so hard on ourselves. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah, we're
we
even
kind of can be there.
insensitive. A woman will be a single mom for like 8 years and then get married and totally forget about her single mom life, and just be like, why you don't got no man? Why you ain't married? And I'm so grateful that I was never that wife. Like, I was never that woman. I had not experienced being a single mom yet, when I was married. And when I was able to be very empathetic, but it was still a world that I had not known of. You just don't know it until you just do it, and then you're just like, whoa, like, is this
Mm-hmm.
what we're doing over here? Like, that's why
Mm-hmm.
I put more emphasis even on a single mom with multiple children, because it's like levels to the judgment, like
Yep.
like
Yes.
it's I was like, oh
Exactly
my God,
that.
and don't let her have two or more than two baby dads. Oh my God, she's the worst woman on earth.
Whoa. Whoa. And it's crazy the things that we put value on, because it's like, you're right. Like, I know a lot of people who have one child, and the way, like, subconsciously I would probably look at it would be like, oh, you know, just a one time thing, and they're not with the person, so that's why they didn't have any more, and they realized it
Right,
wasn't good, whatever the relationship,
right.
or something like that. Like, it kind of, you make up the story in your head, like, this is how one.
Yeah,
But then it's
right.
like, and you assume based on like demographics and age and whatever, and it's like, like, nah, I don't think they meant to have three kids.
Right.
That, like, 'cause we think you're supposed to be like smart.
Yeah, we
It's
have like
like,
this perfect thing that is such a lie in our minds. Like, Just like the whole put a ring on it. If I hear another woman say, I'm not doing this with a man until I put her. I'm like, y'all, like the thing that really pisses me off about that for real, after going through my divorce, I legit, and it was so funny because when I left my ex-husband, I went back to school for psychology and I took a class that specifically talked about what was it? It was a statistic about single women after single moms after divorce. It'll come to me in a second, but it has to do with this whole thing where people really believe that you don't like you it's impossible for you to become a single parent if you got married before, as if the man or the woman that got married, like they're not, like they're going to automatically be in the kid's life after y'all split up because you guys got married. But there are single moms out here that are divorced. It's so confusing, I can barely explain it because I meet divorced women all the time that are single moms. And they're white too. Like, it's just like
everybody. Yeah, yeah. I think. Yeah, my friends. Yeah, anybody. I know. Like that's how it is. Like
it still happens that way. It doesn't mean like we really literally be like, if we get married, it's going to secure something. Your marriage just secures your marriage as long as you're married. Soon as one person gives up, that's it. It doesn't, being a child-centered person or your characteristics is the reason why he or she stays in the child's life. It has nothing to do with y'all getting
whether
married
you're married or
15 years
not.
ago.
Exactly, because there's some great parents, fathers, mothers that I've seen co-parent and they not married, and it's just because they love their kids.
Yeah,
I know people who live in the same house and not together and never was married, and like but for the kids they'll do that.
And they're like the great, right? Exactly, they're great parents together.
So
yeah, it doesn't, all those illusions. I mean, a relationship that ends, it's not a failed relationship. It's a relationship that ended. Like, we be like, oh my God, your marriage failed. No, that means that we weren't supposed to do it. Like,
you know how many times people get divorced here and get remarried? Like, it's not a stigma like how we put on. There's no failure. It's not no happy ending. I Love Lucy. I actually watched, there's a movie about I Love Lucy where it go behind their real life, and like they was messed up. But like the TV personality is like, oh, and it's like that don't exist. We put so much pressure and so much weight. Like even the whole like diamond engagement ring thing was a scam. They just wanted you to buy diamonds. Diamonds is a diamond does
girl's best
like
friend. No, they're not.
no, like the crap, and they like you gotta spend 3 months' salary and to show if you really love this person and what, like it's like all that stuff that we believe is pure crap. And there's people who get married 3 times and they finally find somebody that is what they want. And like you have different phases in life, you grow, you evolve, and it's like here people don't have that stigma. And I still kind of have it because it's like an automatic subconscious thing. So like when I hear like, oh, your homeboy's divorced again, like, oh, he got married again. Oh, okay. Like, but it's because they don't feel bad about it, like how we've been taught to feel. Like they just like, yeah, get married next week. Like it's a whole bunch of people I didn't even know they was divorced, and I meet the new spouse, and I'm like, what happened to? Oh no, I'm not married to her anymore, or I'm, and I'm just like, oh, alrighty then, and just on to the next, and so it's not so much pressure how we put like, are you marrying the right person? Or do they have a good job? Do they have like we don't always ask the right questions, and I think we don't have to put so much pressure, especially on women, for like picking the right person, and like just try it. If you feel like move to do that, to take that step, do it. And don't feel like it's your fault if something happened down the road where it don't fit you no more. If it don't fit you no more, then cool. But I just feel like
it's all
our
divine.
culture back there try to make everything so long term and so permanent and so much pressure. Like you got to spend this much money on the wedding. You got to have a house, mortgage. Like you have to do all this stuff, and all that stuff just ties you down. The kids got to go to college. Like all that stuff make you stuck. You stuck with the person that you may not want to be because you can't get divorced because half the stuff gonna go. Like I feel like they make it so you're not free. You can't leave your job, so you have to stay there, and you have to live in this place because you got a mortgage.
Gotta
Like, you know,
stay in
you
your
just like
marriage.
you have no fluidity. Like, you can't go to, like, you need both incomes. So better just, but it's like maybe it'd be better if you could just be like, okay, I'll sign a paper, we done. And
Yeah,
then
it's like so robotic. Everybody has to do the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, I got married really young. If I couldn't even drink at my own wedding. I was 20 years old, and if I had, if I had the like reality support, as in like women that were just realistic with me, then I would have
Mm-hmm.
ended my marriage a lot before then. But I was like, I'm supposed to stay. I'm supposed to fight no matter what
Suffer.
happens. You know, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I have to go through this. It's our kids. It's the, and that's why I say how much strength it takes. Like, we should be really looking at women. Like, the response that I get, because when I meet single moms, they'll be like, especially if the divorce is fairly new, it's like this guilt. Like, they're embarrassed to even say that they divorced. And so when I give this response of like, oh my God, congratulations, like, and I remember the first time I said that to a woman, and she broke down crying. She said, no one's given me like positive
Wow.
feedback for leaving this horrible marriage. And it made me realize, like, yeah, like, that's, we don't do that. We don't even think to do that, but it takes a lot. And it's really a great accomplishment to choose yourself, to, choose peace, to choose your kids before your
Right
toxic
on.
relationship. Yeah.
Right on.
Okay,
I
we
didn't
got a
even
lot
know
of
we was
comments.
gonna talk about this today.
I know. Thank you. Let me say that too,
Yeah.
sis. Thank you. I'm so grateful for the feedback that I got about that post, because it came from a very sensitive, personal place. And it was very,
Mm-hmm.
I like to, express myself, be candid and stuff. But there's some things that I have to be careful about because people are evil.
Mm-hmm.
So, so, just
Mm-hmm.
me going out on the, just being vulnerable and knowing that I'm speaking for other women that have the same exact thoughts and, cry at night in the shower, that whole thing, and can't say it because they're going to be judged, or they're going to be looked at as weak because, they feel like they have to be strong, all of this. So I really appreciate the feedback, and also just you acknowledging that. That means a lot.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Yes.
I'm glad that you felt, that you were bold enough to be vulnerable like that. Because I think people need to see that,
Yeah.
and they need to see that, like, we're people, you know what I mean? Like, as much as we're on this little screen thing, we're real people.
Yeah.
So words
Yeah.
matter.
Let's break the stigma.
Um,
Like, fuck it.
yeah, for real.
Let's see some of these.
How was your class this week?
It was good. It was really, really
You
good.
started this
I've
week.
been like, hold on, let me tell you about, you know, my classes. I have this location. You've seen the
Mm-hmm.
beautiful location, but
Mm-hmm.
we doing our African thing. So, okay, wait, the location
Okay.
technically is still good because it's Ramadan. That's the only reason why there's a whole thing with Ramadan, because of the area that we're in. They're not opening up early, so I have to choose a different place. But the other place that I
Mm.
chose, it's like one of them things where it's like, okay, yeah, like it's going to be this, and then it ends up being something else. So then you got to go to another place.
Mm.
So I have a steady spot that's right here by my house, but I'm also just going with the flow, like just opening myself up to being wherever it is I'm supposed to be placed to do it.
As you should, as you should.
Yes. But it's coming along really good. And I'm getting the online thing together. I decided for now to just
Okay.
go in a Facebook group and just have you guys, everyone that's doing
Mm-hmm.
online, just to come in the Facebook group. And I think that's gonna be easier. Just gonna post videos
That's
and
good. Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah, just make it
yes.
like a private group or something like that,
Yeah.
so
Mm-hmm.
people who have the link can find it or something. And then
Yes.
yeah, because I'm ready, because I heard from Larita and Unique that they was sore from it, so I need to
Yes.
get this belly right.
Yes, they've been
Oh
coming
man,
every
it's pain.
class for like a month now, so they feeling it.
Oh nice.
Okay, let's see. Let's try to go through some of these comments.
All right.
Is living in Senegal required to leave the country every 3 months like Tanzania? No. Look at your face. I mean, because it's not a requirement, because people like Unique, she hasn't been anywhere else. And she still got that one same stamp coming here, and her, even Nova, and then when
How
they
about she
leave,
goes back to but she
she
goes
goes
back to
back
Boston.
at least twice a year.
Oh, okay.
At least twice a year, and she just pays a little bit of money. It's the same thing, even when Nova goes to the Gambia, and people say that you got to do the whole thing and you can't go there, she just pays her money and just go by. So it's like, if you want to be legit, then you can get your residency, and that way you don't even have to talk to anybody.
But your residency will take time, or extra money, or if you
It
want to
could,
expedite it, but
right.
it could. And so the thing is about residency is it's not something that you can just go get in line and it'll get done in this amount of time. So you still like you can't be too stressed about like the time overlapping or whatever. I think when I went to Gambia, it was over 3 months that I had been here. They mentioned something at the border and they let me go. Like it was,
Right.
They just tried to say it
Yeah, it's
to
like they
get
have
something.
to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they only said it. They're not to enforce the law. It was just to get some money. Like they just wanted, like hey, so and it just depends on how much you want to be adamant about something. Like if you want to be a stickler and be like, nah, then they're gonna make you wait until you get tired and your feet hurt, and it's like, okay, take this money. Just gotta
Right.
negotiate. Right.
Yeah.
But
Because
yeah.
even
So
Larita, she got
it's not like.
her. Oh, say it again.
Go ahead. No, I
I
was
was just
saying
gonna
like
say even.
you can leave. Sorry,
Go
you
ahead.
can leave if you want to, but it's not like the States where somebody gonna come knock on your door or La Migra gonna come to your job and be like, boom, 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 hey, you're leaving. Like nobody cares.
Right. Nobody cares. That's right. So you can do it if you want. If it's, I think it's more like a conscious thing. Like if it's gonna mess with your conscience that you don't have it, then you should do it. But if not, then you're perfectly fine. People are out here living their best life. Without.
Anything is possible here. Anything can be worked out. Anything can be
Yes.
negotiated. You could be here for 5 years and then get whatever paperwork. And
Yes.
nobody's tripping.
That just reminded me, I have a homegirl that's from here, and I had messaged her. She's about to have a baby. And I'm doing my doula work here. And I had asked her, could she look up in French if there are any laws even though I've already done a birth here, a couple of births, but I was like, could you see in French if there's any laws against home births? And she was like, I'll look, but she's like, nothing's illegal here. She's like, it's Africa. She's like, it's Senegal. So she's like, nothing's really illegal here, but I'll just look it up if you want me to.
They so pro kids here. Like nobody would even think to even do that. Like why?
Right.
Nobody's trying to get any money, because the only reason we do that is because we're trying to get money in the hospital and use it under the guise of safety and health hazard, and we try to make it sound all like we care, but we really don't.
Right. And the Senegalese government doesn't want your kids. The government in America wants your kids. Like they literally let us know ahead of time that they're not even ours. So it's so different because they're taking your kids. If you haven't given birth at home, or, not complying to certain things after the baby. So it's so opposite here. But she was like, girl, I'll research it if you want me to. But she's like, no one cares about that here.
I was taking my housekeeper taking them home one day, and because they were here late and they couldn't get a taxi, and as we're driving, I'm behind a donkey in a cart and a little boy or whatever. And so I was telling her, like, if this was in my country, I'm always telling her stuff because she's in college, but like she always says stuff that make me feel like she downplays Senegal and she thinks other places is like, wow.
Oh.
So I just want to tell her, like, it ain't all what you think. So I just tell her, like, hey, if you seen this kid on a donkey, back home, like the parents would get arrested for that. And she was like, what? I was like, yeah, like it's a lot of stuff that kids don't learn, like cooking and working, doing certain things because of safety. Like if they get hurt, you can go to jail. I said, yeah, the parent will get arrested. She was like, what? I was like, yeah. And she's like, what happens to the kid? I said, the government will take the kid. I said, yeah, that happens a lot to people. They get their kid taken. I said, she said, how? I said, if you go to the hospital and your kid is getting treated for an injury and they say it's bad, the doctor is obligated to do that. She's like, wow. She's like, they won't even give it to the grandparents or the this or the that. I said, not all the
Sometimes
time.
no.
And yeah, and she's like, that's so sad for a kid to be taken away like that. I said, yeah. So that's why a lot of kids like here, kids know how to do a lot of stuff and learn stuff because nobody's scared to let them try, scrape their knee, get hurt, get burned, whatever
Right.
the case may be. And it's like, you know, it, I was just telling her, like, I think that's kind of unfortunate because she be saying stuff to me sometimes, and I just be like, she think that everybody over there is rich and
She
whatever,
don't
and
know.
so
Yeah.
I
It's
told
just
her,
because
like,
it really is a different world when you're over here.
yeah. So we was watching. I started watching. What was it? Growing Up Hip Hop. Like I never watched it before, so I'm watching it. And so they show L.A. So she know I went back. So I'm like, that's where I used. That's where I live. She's like, oh, it's beautiful. I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of pollution though. I said it looked nice when it's not
They
pollution. I
ain't
be saying
showing
little
that.
stuff like that. Yeah, but I'm like, nah. I said the rich people they live up there in the mountains. I was like, we don't live like that. But I'm like, these people that live in the village right here. I'm like, if that was in my country, I said they wouldn't have their own house that they own. I said the poor people sleep in the street. If you don't have any money, nobody's helping you, and we don't have teranga like y'all. And so I'm like, these people
They get
here
no help.
are considered like low income or whatever, but it's like they have something that belongs to them. Nobody can take it from the bank. They
Right.
own their little two-room house, like, and they own their little land. And it's like, I said everything over there, you can have a bigger house. They still can take it from you if you lose your
Any
job.
second.
And
You never really own it. Yeah.
I know you don't own nothing. You don't own your phone. You don't own nothing. And so, it's just really different. And so I try to like open her mind just a little,
Yeah.
because sometimes she'd be like, that was the one time I told you when she said, yeah, Senegal's poor, we can't afford GMO or something. She was like, we can't afford to have
You can't afford the
off
bad
season
stuff that we trying to get away from.
She said off season fruit. She said we can't afford off season fruit. That's why
You
we
can't
only
afford
have
fake
mangoes.
food. Like we.
That's the thing. It looked one way to them, and then
Right.
but I just felt like I just feel like there's this consensus of low self-esteem when it comes to like your pride in your country kind of thing, and like some people will say Senegal's nice and beautiful and Teranga and stuff, but at the same time they put us on our country on a pedestal and they
Right.
put their own country down here, and I'm like, man, I don't think Nigerians would do that. They be like, we laugh. Niger no carry laugh. But like I think it's a lot of places where they do, and I'm just like, man, we have the best PR in the world because we be walking with our chest puffed out. We don't have nothing like to be that proud about,
We in a whole
other
war
than
zone. The
other
United
than
States
other than
of
our culture. I
depression
think,
is.
yeah, I
Yes.
think I think Black American culture is one thing to be very very proud about because it's been
Yes.
exported all over the world. But other than that, I don't think we have that much to be like, yeah, our country, we have a mentality where we think we could do anything or we can accomplish anything and we're innovative or whatever. We're good at making money because we can make money from killing people. We can make money from a lot of stuff.
From anything,
But
right?
it's like, but I don't make it right. So, yeah,
Even what you
I'd be like,
said that you were telling her about how your child can be taken if they get hurt and stuff. I have a friend out here who has a little sister. Her sister is like maybe 15 and they're from the States and she's a runaway. So they've been out here for about 6 years. They went to school. They speak mostly fluent in French, but the 15-year-old is a runaway. And so I see her sometimes. Sometimes she comes up to the studio here that Trey be at. And I asked her, like, what happens? Like, when you run away, like, what is the protocol? And she was like, they just, she was like, sometimes my mom gets the police involved and they just bring me home. And I was like, do they ever talk about taking you to jail or anything? Because I have a lot of experience with that with my little sister. She was a runaway when she was
Mm.
about 13. And, when you're a runaway in
Mm.
America, when you're a runaway child, they put you in the prison pipeline because you become a juvenile, really
Yep.
young. So I was
Yeah.
like, do they never try to take you to jail? She was cracking up. She said, my mom tries to get them to do something and they're like, this is your kid. Like, we got to bring her back to your house. Like, what do you mean you want her to like be detained? Like, that's not even an idea for them because they don't want your kid. Like, America has this obsession with like taking our kids for any kind of, us opposing anything or anything like that. But it's not like that here. Even, I mean, that sounds kind of crazy to some people. It's like, oh, well, the runaway. But no, a runaway should not be going to jail. A runaway should be going to counseling and home. So it's just so different, just to kind of give y'all an idea of how different it is. It's like, it's really different. And Naya says, two people parent home or marriage doesn't mean a healthy relationship. Unhealthy relationships has been a society's norm. Why kids come from single has to be broke. That's so true.
Somebody said that Americans have a lot to be proud of.
Hold on, where's that at? Oh, America has a lot to be proud of. Are you white?
Maybe. It's always a possibility. Doesn't antebellum have to do with the Civil War or something like that? But I think being proud, like, it can be a good thing and it could be a bad thing. It just depends on your definition of pride. Like,
I mean, I just wouldn't say that America has a lot to be.
But I think that no, I was saying that pride can be like, don't they mention pride in the Bible? But I think there's pride and then there's like a superior air. Like, you could be proud of an accomplishment, but you don't have to carry yourself like where you're just proud. Like, I think it could be in excess. You know what I mean? Like, if you think you're superior to somebody, then get to the back of the line. Like, I think Americans can be conceited. Put it that way. Maybe
we are so self-centered. I mean, they like, I'm gonna use the word raised because it's like, we're raised up through the society, but they have, programmed us to think that we are like the end all be all country. Like, we are the best, most token country. We don't even realize what's going on in the outside world because they have us so like centered on America being the biggest and the best. And of course there's things, just like you mentioned, our Black American culture, there's things that for us to be proud of. I wouldn't say America has a lot because of the way it has been and it is and it was and it's gonna be. I cannot use the word a lot when I say that, but most definitely, of course, we have some things to be proud of. It's just, for me, the bad outweighs the good. Like, I miss some of the food. Of course, I love some of our culture. We have influenced the entire world, good and bad stuff. But overall, it's like, whoo, stress me out. I be trying to say I'm from somewhere else, unless I just want to represent. Oh, okay. Okay. Wait, what happened? Okay. She's gonna come back in. Yes, give us some love if you guys are loving this show. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Let YouTube know that this is the show, the place to be. So many people want to come here, not just to Senegal, but to Africa, period. And they don't even know that. Okay, here comes this. That the show is a thing.
I mean, multitasking. I X out of the thing.
I was like, wait, she just disappeared.
Things at once. That's because I was, But yeah.
Yes.
Oh, atmosphere. Just getting here. Peace, atmosphere.
Am I still on the screen when I'm typing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Somebody had asked us to talk about the flies. Remember that before?
Oh, really? Oh, someone did. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the flies. Wait, where's Larita at? Larita, you still in here? Let me see.
It
Because
was like
Larita
the
don't play
mosquitoes
about
and the
these
flies.
flies.
For
My sister
real?
don't play about these flies. Yeah,
She
she be
ain't
like,
got used to them
where's
yet.
the fan at? Where's the fan? The flies, it was big for me. I don't know. Let me not say this because maybe because it's not summertime yet. I think during the
Mm-hmm.
summertime. She said, "Yep."
Yeah, she here.
Wow. Yes, the flies be real, and Larita hasn't experienced our summertime yet. So me and Unique been trying to get her ready because she experienced
Okay.
wintertime flies.
Yeah, that's very minimal.
Yes,
After the
and
after
I
the
think I've
rainy
just
season,
adapted.
like it's like they all have babies.
Right. I think I've just kind
Even
of
the babies
adapted
have
to it. I
babies.
mean, I'm still eating and shooing them away, but it's not near as much. I think I just kind of got used to it. And Larita talks about this this time when me and her first went out. We had went to this spot that I like to go to on the beach, and she didn't
Mm.
eat that day. We were supposed to go out and eat, and she didn't eat. And we were
Mm.
like talking. I ordered the food first. I'm like, "You're not gonna eat?" And now she tells me now, like she's like, "Girl, all them flies that was on your plate."
Oh, see, I don't do on my plate. Like,
But see, that's the thing. Like, I
yeah.
don't think I even know. Okay, hold on, wait. We should have gave a disclaimer, just so y'all know.
Okay.
Just so y'all know, flies are abundant in Africa, right? And it is normal for them to be around you and around your food and stuff like that. I'm not saying eat them while they're on your plate, but after some time, after some time of being here, it might be a couple of little, things that come through, and then you might just be like, oh, okay, and then just go about. But I guess I just
Hmm.
didn't realize it. I didn't notice it. I don't know if I caught it too late or what. But she be like,
I think
uh-uh.
I think there's degrees, there's levels to this, right? So like when I used to come, I was in other people's houses, and
Mm,
so I had to do what they were accustomed to doing and live how they were accustomed to living. They don't have screens on it, screen doors or screen windows.
mm,
Stuff is open, so it may not be like a whole. It's not like at the fish market where it flies all on the stuff, but like
right.
like where you gotta just be like just eating. I I couldn't deal with that. Like I
Yeah,
have to
it's annoying.
consciously do something to make myself even. Now I'm at a point like I used to be at a point where I wouldn't want to eat something if a fly had ever touched it or been in the vicinity.
Yeah, that's how I was too.
Now I'm like, well, as long as I shoot away, I'm good, like whatever. But you know, I remember one time I told my brother-in-law, one of my brother-in-law, I was like, you know, it's not like I have a problem, like an issue. It's just that the way I was raised, like flies are not sanitary or whatever. And I was saying this like this was new to him. I'm like, in my culture, flies are considered dirty. Maybe not for you. And he was like, for us too. And I was like, oh, and y'all just gonna keep on like no. But but I think that people are used to it here, so they don't notice it the way we notice it. But
Yeah,
what I don't like is when they touch my skin, and like I don't like that. Like I
yeah,
can deal now being in a place, and if I have jeans on, like they on top of my jeans or something like that, I don't care. But if they touch me, like especially my face,
right.
like you gonna see like one of these like no, I don't like them crawling on me. Period. But now that I live in,
Why did Ben just call me?
dude, he's late. We not
I
somebody want to be on the show and he gonna call. That ain't how you do it, bruh. Mm-mm. Y'all know this happen every show. Why y'all didn't buy Daylight a new phone? She going off now. The tribe gotta buy you a phone, yo. Mm, she need a backup phone. I'm gonna do a GoFundMe for this girl. I just messaged her. So because we can't hear you. No, I can't hear. We can't hear you. We usually can hear you, but we can't hear you now. Meditate and flies kept landing on your face. Yeah. So yeah, I can't do that with the flies on my face. That's impossible. Are Senegal and Gambia planning merging as one? I haven't heard nothing about that. Wait. Let me hold on. Let me mute myself. I don't know if that will do anything. Can you hear me? No, you can't hear me. You can hear me? Oh, this is what is going on? All right, this is weird. I thought she said she had a new phone last. Oh, she said her phone is it's a new phone, but this is the same phone she been using the whole time. Let's see. Hold on, let me see if I can hear. Oh, he called. So there was a guy that we were thinking to have him be on the show today, but probably do it next time. But yeah, he called. But he late. We told him what time the show was. Is this still going? Oh, there was a guy that we were thinking. Yep, no, we can't hear you. Can Dayla go out and come back in? We'll try. We'll try and see. But anyway, let me see what she told me. She said, okay, I'm going to restart it. Cool. All right, we'll be back after these messages.